Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one, the only. What actually was supposed to happen, if I turn this down since it is pretty loud up, don't kill it totally, is, I was actually supposed to, record some stuff last night, and that totally didn't happen. And the reason that didn't happen is because, I lost power last night. It was pretty sweet. It was a big thing because Manhattan almost never loses power. I think this is the second time in recent memory that Times Square has gone completely dark. I think the time before that I can think of was Hurricane Sandy. So yeah, it was pretty exciting, and I definitely did enjoy my 3 hours in the dark. It was kind of spooky. First, it was kind of like Resident Evil, and then it gradually evolved into other stuff. So it wasn't awful. It wasn't miserable. But moreover, I didn't really get anything done yesterday because of it, because I was out all day. And when I finally decided to sit down to maybe do something, that happened. So that was pretty sweet. So today I'm going to play Final Fantasy, just because I know I can at least do something on this game, maybe. If I whip this open real quick. Hold on. Interact. Beautiful. Okay. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and, that was like the only intro we needed. It was like a 2-minute intro, to be fair. And, whip this up. Apparently, at some point today, we will be doing, Titania and the other EXs. So that'll be exciting, if you're a huge fan of those. And go to studio mode. Thank you, CJ, for leading us in. Always appreciated, brother. Alright, and we can actually start, because I didn't do my expert roulette today. It's kind of a reoccurring thing. I didn't get to do it last night either, because I literally was not on. It kind of sucked. I also didn't do my main scenario, but to be honest, I kind of don't even really want to do the main scenario roulette anymore. I feel like it's just a horrific waste of time to constantly be revisiting and redoing the same... literally 2 dungeons, and I just generally don't like it that much. I think it's kind of boring and kind of bland, but I will continue to do it because I'm not very smart. Some days though, I'm not doing it every day. If I do it every day, like, yeah, the poetic bonus is nice, but in general it's not a very fun thing to do, like, at all. It's actually pretty repetitive and not fun. Maybe I'll do it until I get my dancer to 70, and then after that, I don't care, because I could just farm Holminster, and honestly, like, I don't want to say Holminster takes less time to run multiple times, but it sure as fuck does feel like you get more out of doing a run of Holminster, or would get more out of doing it, because I haven't actually started grinding anything in Holminster yet, and the primary reason for that, if I take my headset off, is because I have Dragoon at 70 and Bard at 70, and that's it. Those are the last 2 classes I don't have to 71. So that's like another day or 2 of roulettes, and then I'll get to 71 and everything. And then after that, I'm going to start leveling them in order. So I'm going to finish Dark Knight, because I actually kind of grew on me a bit. But I mean, maybe I shouldn't finish Dark Knight. I need to finish at least 2 tanks, no matter what, so that way I can always play anything in whatever group I go into. So yeah, I will finish Dark Knight. Then after that, I'm going to finish Red Mage. I want to finish Machinist, because I actually kind of like Machinist. And I want to finish White Mage. And then those are the 4 classes I want to get so I can finish the story for the other people. Oh, nice, no water. I don't know where the second bottle is. Okay, that's excellent. But yeah, that's my genius master plan, is to do that. And then from there we fill in the blanks. Like, I want to do Black Mage after that. I want to do Samurai after that. And obviously the other 2 tanks. I think the last couple of classes I really want to level are going to be like Dancer, Bard, Dragoon, and Monk. I don't really like a lot of the melee DPS this time. Like, I tolerate Samurai because I kind of like it. The only thing I don't like is Ikashoten. I see why they added it. It's a nice little jolt to be able to have enough time to Senai at the beginning. But I don't like that there's no way to remove Sen anymore. I think that's like the one thing I don't like. And even if it wasn't a DPS increasing ability, I would like a way to remove Sen. So if the boss jumps, you can refresh Midare, because there's no way to drop your one. If you have 2 or more Sen, you have to fire off whatever you have before you can refresh Higanbana. That bothers me. It doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would, but it does still bother me. So let's do this. I've been kind of lucky to be able to get away with doing big pulls for this lately. So I'll jinx it right now so we won't be able to. I actually like the twinning. I think the twinning is one of the better dungeons they've had. I think this Expert Roulette is fucking lit. So much good stuff in it. They put in a lot of cool stuff. I like that it's basically a canon story. It's pretty fucking sweet, dude. Also, what's nice is that a lot more people are geared up. There's like maybe 2 or 3 pulls that are kind of troublesome in this dungeon. It's nothing too horrific. Actually, should have gotten my powder. The one class I'm not playing is Scholar. I refuse to play that. That's just definitely not happening at all. It's fun time. We have a bard? Oh, I guess we do. I didn't even notice. See, now because it doesn't really matter, I don't even really look at my DPS. Oh, we both interjected. Well, he head grazed, I interjected. Same difference, kinda. I also like how the music is a redux of Crystal Tower and Omega. For hidden reasons, of course. I didn't see that. It's rough. I like how a 20k tank buster really kind of isn't much in the scope of a dungeon. Like, it really is not a lot, all things considered. How much was Omega's tank buster? It had to be at least like 50k, right? 48? It's been a while. Specifically, it's been like, I don't know, I think I stopped in January. I hate that this happens this early in the fight. Did it not do... Oh, because it's on cooldown. Okay. All that talk of Omega made me totally forget that dungeon bosses don't reset your cooldowns. Not that they ever have. Might have been a bit early. Actually, that's a fuck up. Oh god. I actually do like Gunbreaker. It feels like a Heaven's Ward style tank. Which is precisely the kind of tank I used to like playing. Before they kind of really removed most of that from this game. I think the only tanks that really kind of feel like it that I've played so far are like Paladin and Gunbreaker. I think Warrior Dark Knight kind of... They just had too much shit removed. That's actually kind of why I want to play Dark Knight, because I want to actually play the class as much as I kind of don't like the way it is now. I'm not going to No Mercy that. Can I even take any of this? No. Pretty much have a full set of almost every accessory from the Expert Roulette. I should be fine. Let's see, am I gonna, like, guessing when I need to Superbolite is kind of weird. It is legitimately roulette. Alright, fine. That was way smoother than most of the times I've done that. missed a chest, maybe. No, they opened it. I just didn't get anything. Yeah, I don't do that weird Bloodfest opener anymore. I realize now that, as weird as it is, and I always forget that there's a tank buster right at the start of this fight. As weird as it is, you're supposed to spend the first 5 GCDs kind of not really doing much. I think you might burst strike before this, though, just in case. I don't know why I did that. Absolutely stupid shit. Not losing my combo. Think of a weapon like a gunblade, you'd be able to do it from afar, but not really. The feeling of, like, disgustingness from not starting is not even worth it. And not finishing a combo either. Did I get it? Yes. See, camouflage is basically what I always wanted Dark Dance to be. It's such a tragedy. Like, this class got all the stuff that I just wish could have happened for a lot of different things. You have Sonic Break, which is just like a better version of Scourge, which got removed like forever and a day ago. Oh shit, my charger died. You know where all the cool toys went for Gunbreaker. It's kind of going to be awkward. I did find out the other day that you can actually kick one of them. Oh, you can't kick this. But yeah, you can kick dungeon mobs. So apparently they're weak to a lot of stuff now. And I just, they changed that, or now it's just relevant. I think that's also kind of why they changed the silence system into the interrupt system. Ah, shit. I have this. I have a full set of 330s. And the sad part is I might actually have enough Goetia to actually just outright buy most of the stuff I'll ever want. Meaning that I'm probably carrying a lot of this for no reason, because Goetia is going to be free. Oh, Goetia is free. It's a lie. The tank buster for this rail cannon? Worst time for rail cannon ever. It's kind of hard to light fuel. Oh, shit. Technically, I probably should have saved it since I held it for so long. Just pretend I don't forget Bloodfest exists after playing this shit below 67 or 76 for so long. We can totally pretend that. Oh, that was a mispress. I mean, ironically, Superbolite is an easier thing to weave. Believe it or not. I have like no room to maneuver in here. I gotta get used to doing that again, especially since we're gonna be raiding today. I actually have to remember how to play this game on some level. It was so much easier when everything was just warrior. And that's all I ever did. Let's get the healer. Definitely didn't get that. Okay, well, the only thing else I gotta do is I'm just gonna grind Il Meg. Or, I'm sorry, Don Meg. Same difference. And hopefully level up. I kind of don't like Dark Knight, but I need to have at least 2 tanks. Don Meg is kind of a lame dungeon. It's the weakest in my opinion. I really like Holminster Switch. I think that was a cool dungeon. Holminster, Gulg, what was the 77? Nah, the middles are kind of meh. The juicy bits are the ends. Oh, yep. See if I can remember how to play this, like, on an actual level. I already forgot. I like the way I set up the bars a bit better. It's a lot neater when it's vertical like that. Straight punch. Oh, that didn't gift me it. Okay, they didn't break Blackest, apparently. That always surprises me when that just does not happen. Thank you. I got way too many windows open. What are the big pulls? I could probably big pull this, to be honest. I trust my healer. Maybe I'll start doing it after this. Tank Buster? Yes, it is. Yeah, there's no hope they're gonna break this. Wait! Died. If it didn't die, it would have broken that. I think the boss is right after this. I can't remember what the first boss is. It's been too long. It's like you can only really safely use it on a portion where a bunch of enemies are going to hit you, or only if you're actually going to get a hit by a tank buster, or some heavy damage ability, or intentionally stand in an AoE. That's the only way you can do it. isn't exactly my favorite part about Dark Knight. I think you can hold them indefinitely. I haven't tried yet, but I think you never run out of your charge. Yeah, I got warriored right there. I fucked up. See if I can do this. Wow. I got it, but barely at the end. That was ridiculous. Yeah, I guess you are just supposed to hold this one charge unless you're about to get another. Or if you're going to lose not blood, dark side. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, you don't take damage, basically. You're either getting your shit pushed in, or you're not taking any damage, basically, on this class. Please hit me. Nope. I always forget you have to wait for him to scurry off. I actually don't even remember what the big pulls in this dungeon are anyway. It's not worth it. You know, Arm's Length doesn't really work in conjunction with Blackest. I actually just thought about that. It really kind of doesn't. A lot of things don't really work in conjunction with Blackest Night. White Mage Holy doesn't really work well with it. Which way is it? There's a lot of things that don't really go well with it. They're not breaking it. Oh, they did! Wow. I think it's because he did Champ. I think that's a tank buster. It's such up to fate, basically, if it gets broken or not. Really focused. I have fun. I have fun doing dumb shit like that. In content that doesn't matter. What? Thank you. I forget what the gimmick with this one is. Well, that was a completely thrown away shield. What's 25% of my health? I don't know what my max is, like 95? So it's got to be roughly like, what, 23? 22? No, it's got to be a little higher than that. Oops, totally forgot about this. The Benison is going to break before mine. Neither of them are going to break, actually. That's a lie. Forget it. Why do I even bother? It's not. It's nothing ridiculous. Why do I even care? Is this a tank buster? No. That actually broke. I'm dead. Unbelievable. Not gonna keep it, so. Actually, could have kept that. It definitely felt like longer than a minute. It's not a weapon skill. I noticed that since tanks don't really have any cap on their abilities for AoE, we kind of tend to balloon up the highest the more enemies there are. Because unlike DPS, our highest AoE moves do not have that scaling. That's one thing I've actually really noticed a lot. I do like that this class does have an off-global cooldown AoE move. It's not a global. Nope, completely immune. How much does this give you? 20. Yeah, I think all the combo finishers give you 20. It's a very astute finding. Shit. Did I get it? Yes, I did. I like how that doesn't give a sound. So I'm actually about to start standing in more AoEs with Blackest. Fake pistol. Sure. That had a long startup animation. What is this? I don't remember actually. AoE. I literally called it in my head. Which means I didn't need to spend for edge. Wait, what? Oh. I really fucking hate this. You know, they're actually nice enough. You can kind of just casually run it. I also think it's the same pattern every time. Unfooled. I think it really is, though. Actually. As long as it doesn't give me vuln, I'm okay doing that. It's just, I, off the top of my head, couldn't even begin to say what does and does not give vuln. There we go, I got my 5. Why did I do that? I mean, I guess technically every class plays differently. It's just, it's really annoying. I have to intentionally, like, try to fail shit in order to be able to break Blackhist sometimes. It's not even better. They just give you it. That could actually be helpful. Not gonna get that. Okay. That would actually be nice because I actually do want to level Red Mage after this. It's between Red Mage and Red Mage. I mean, I want to do Paladin Warrior. But I think I'll do either Red Mage or Machinist so I have a DPS that I can actually play with. And that way I can actually do roulettes as a DPS, which in and of itself is going to be pretty sweet. So that way I'm not forced to always tank. Plus, I don't think that the Machinist 80 rotation seems too ridiculous. It's also kind of the same for me with the Red Mage. I kind of like the way Red Mage looks. I think Red Mage is actually pretty decently balanced. It has a lot of good things. It has a variety of AoE moves now, so you're not just spamming one move to do all your AoE rotation. It's got some good stuff. I think that's the biggest problem that it had, is that you were basically spamming scatter because tether was a worthless move that they kind of, I don't know why it just got tacked on in there somehow, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go do this real quick. Oh, it's... Maybe. Maybe... Yes, sir. I kind of had a feeling, too. I actually was a little bit more lenient than I thought it would be. They gave me some spare time to do what I needed to do. Okay. Wasn't the last pair? No, the last time it was a dancer bard. Sure. Let's see. Water is love, water is light. Good times. I forget that you have to do this. It's not like ingrained in my head because it's so different from Stormblood and Heavensward, where it's just a buff that you maintain. Like you did have to maintain it in Stormblood or in Heavensward, but it just happened. You don't actually have to do much for it. I did it. Nope, stunned. Yeah, it's really kind of fucked up that your teammates can technically do the right thing, and that's the end of the Blackest. I'm not getting it. It is the definition of a raid tool. I'm staying in this. I think it got stunned, so, you know. No, it broke. Sure. You insist. This I'll actually need to CD for. Nope, dead. Immediately. Well, and that's why I don't do big pulls ever. That's precisely why I don't. Precisely why I don't. And that's why I never will do that again. Very nice. You can kind of get away with it in the twinning. You can kind of get away with it on expert. but I don't think we're getting away with it here. So let's not. You know, the dance is actually pretty nice. The dancing with me. We can do slow. I'll be here all day. I forget that's like gotta be the first thing that you do, actually. Okay, thank you. Holy fuck. By the way, Devilman is ridiculous. I see the rates that I'm hitting for just balloon. Okay. Oh look, he doesn't actually start it again. If you wipe, he doesn't care. Actually, I wonder what you can do with Curing Waltz, since that is, that's based on who you're dancing with. You could probably use that in maybe some fight somewhere to give tanks an extra heal where they normally wouldn't get anything. I don't know why I did that. They're all dead, or whatever. Since when have I cared about my Dark Knight gameplay in Shadowbringers? I wonder if that's early. Yep. 1,000,000%. It is very different from killing monsters in the overworld, by far, because with monsters in the overworld, like, you could kind of get away with a lot, to be honest. You could pretty much burst them down before you actually need to start maintaining any amount of your gauge or resources. I don't have Dark Missionary. I think a lot of the bosses are like overly simple. But then again, maybe dungeon bosses are just overly simple and I've been doing raid bosses for too long. It might not brick now. No. Oh no, it did. Never mind. Just barely. I usually jump on the biggest enemy, especially since I know like this dude is 100% going to. Yeah, he has champ. I don't know why I mitigate anything on this class. Like, it's not the wrong thing to do per se. It just feels weird because it kind of actually is the wrong thing to do. It's definitely not what you're intended to do. You have to walk this, like, weird line of self-punishment. I totally didn't block that. I'm gonna stay in one of these. Nope, it was actually on cooldown. I think you have to reactionarily use it now. As opposed to like trying to use it ahead of time to maybe save yourself a hit or knowing what's coming. You kind of have to reactionarily do it. Now, with raids, it'll probably be a bit different because just in general, bosses and raids hit for, I guess, what mobs call now tank busters. But it is definitely a very weird feeling. I hate this. That was really awkward clipping. Oh, that's dark side. Is 20k on a crit blood spiller what we used to get? I think blood spillers I think blood spiller and fell cleave used to be pretty on par with each other, so I think that's roughly about the same. Especially since this is a low leveling dungeon too. I don't think he's supposed to get this big. Oh shit. Yeah, Rake is like Alt-Royd's tail. I had no clue. And it's definitely not supposed to hit me for that much. Okay, thank the Lord. I totally didn't roll on these. I forget if I tried and just like mentally threw it out my head or what. Okay. Oh wow, they broke it. That was actually kind of surprising. Do I even want to pull the second Kelpie? Probably not. I had a complete brain fart. Yeah, that torpedo cast really snuck up on me. I'm staying in this. Thank you. Okay, jeez. I actually should probably check my controller battery, because my controller died on me the... Okay, and I wasted it. My controller died on me the other day in the middle of drowned city of Scala when I was healing. Didn't wipe, it just made it very annoying. It actually really benefits you when your healer does not DPS. So that way they can't stun it, they can't get any of the weird effects or anything. Also helps when those AoEs are not perfectly overlapped with each other. I think I'm going to need just a teensy bit more to get to level 75. The kind of experience where I don't know if it's even really worth doing another dungeon run. I mean, technically per unit time, maybe. Why did I do it this early again? I'd rather hardcast my dots first, or my dark side. Oh, jeez. It's making the turn that's the hard part. That's why they're so lenient with it. See if I can do this. Yeah, I did it last time. I needed another 2 autos to have that break, though. Thank you. Can I Blackest Night the Bleeding? Yes. Okay. Now I know that. So I could probably have it break there if I time that right. If I take both casts of it and then the few ticks of bleed, I could probably have it break right there. For a fight that I'm not going to remember in about a week. I think he does a tank buster here to kind of punish healers for being unable to heal through that if they get turned into a frog. He did it last time, so maybe he doesn't do it here. No, here it is. But you're already transfigured back by now, so it wouldn't be too ridiculous. I like the dancer. Devilment helped so much. That was nice. Oh, 1. What does the Verbertite gear even look like? Because I probably almost have the full set. Oh, my inventory's full. I rolled a 1. Nobody wanted it or nobody could take it. Fey pistol. And the Fey blade. Okay. I already have used those. Yeah, what is it? Like 2 million experience? That's not... It's not worth another run. What do you get? You get like 1 million for each of the bosses. I mean, technically it kind of is 1 million for another run. I'd rather not. I wonder how much Dancing Plague would give me if I were to do that. Probably, I imagine it's like 400,000. Because it's a time thing. If it gave you as much, it wouldn't. If it gave you comparatively as much, people would rather do this because you don't have to do walking. You could just beat it and be done. I already have these. Do I have a pair of royal shoes already? Yes, I do. I have a pair of crimson breeches already? Yes, I do. I think I put this on a thing though, right? Yeah, I got like 3 of these. I'm gonna put it on a mannequin. I'm gonna do that later though. Okay. I have better gear. I mean, technically this is good for that 1 level to get yourself up to 74. But I don't know if it's worth the extra inventory space, to be completely truthful. can actually start to get rid of this. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Forgiven's armor offending. The Forgiven's gauntlets. I actually should see what that is. I probably should get the Forgiven set, because you can dye it, and if you can dye it, pretty much means it's a good set, especially if it's from like random dungeon gear. So I should probably actually keep most of that. Alright, anyway. Nabath Axe. I think most of this is still kind of worth keeping. It just kind of sucks. It's the same story. It just happened to me with Stormblood as well. Do I already have these in? Yes, I do. Okay. Same thing kind of happened with Stormblood. I think I can finally get rid of these. I don't know if you can convert blues. I think maybe you can. I need to take that out. Actually, I don't even know if I can. My inventory might be too full. It is... There it is. Oh, you can convert it. Okay. Well, it served me well. Haven't used it in literally years, so might as well get something out of it. Can't glamour it, can't do anything with it. Oh, can you not trade in Evilisi and Holy Knight gear yet? I guess not. Because I would have definitely traded it in by now. No, you can only trade in the 330s and the 360s. You can't trade in any of the higher stuff. Well, that sucks. Alright, and besides that, the rest of that is just going to sit there forever. Well, I'm hoping to hit 75 before we hit 6 p.m. because we're raiding at 6 p.m. So that'll be very fun. I think we will. I should probably do hunts, maybe. I have my return point set to Yulmore, so I can bypass having to pay for it. Right? And maybe I could set a free destination at Mordona, actually. I probably should have done that. So that way I can kind of cut costs as I teleport around the realm. Slingshot. Since Mordona is such a popular destination for literally anything and everything under the sun, I actually do need to go there, to be honest with you. Actually, I might be able to just buy this. Yeah, it's 180. I either get determination and tenacity or critical hit and skill speed. I'd rather take the hit here. Okay, what do I have in that? This can take critical. You could actually put a 60 in that. Yeah. I mean, not that I don't want to put any 60s in. I know that the removal chance is 100, but I just don't feel like putting it in. It seems like a waste of time. How much would you get? You get 54. That's worth it. Hypothetically speaking. How many do I have? 22. I mean, like, I feel like for most of this, like, I don't think anyone particularly cares about grade 7s. They kind of intentionally throw a whole bunch at you, but they're not better than grade 6s, except that you can pentameld grade 7s. That's about the only thing that they have going for them. So what they do have is I could buy some grade 8 Savage Aim, which is pretty much the best thing that I can get. I think maybe I'll get like... Let's get an even number. I'll get 13. Direct hit, I'll get 4. Oh, I have no inventory space. Never mind. I actually have to go back now to Mordona. Which technically isn't how it works. I have to go back to my house, which is 240 some. Then I gotta go to the Gold Saucer to dump these 2 cards. It's really the materia that kind of kills my inventory. And at this point, I should probably just maybe try to sell some of it. Or see if I can meld a good chunk of most of it. Oh boy. It's worth it. It's 3,000 MGP when I haven't done anything all day with MGP. I actually have to do my, what is today? No, today's Sunday. I could do it tomorrow. I have to do my weekly turn-ins. Hard to believe it's been a week already, but it has. It absolutely does not feel that way. Go to Mordona. I do like that from doing roulettes, I basically ballooned up almost 1,000,000 gil. Between roulettes, doing the story, and nothing too much else. What do I buy here? Let's buy Umbrite. No, I'm an idiot. I needed 400 to buy the spring water. It doesn't particularly matter too much, but that was kind of a mistake. But on the flip side, another 60 and I'll be able to do 2 relic weapons back to back. The only thing I need to do is get those crystals from doing fates in the various areas. Okay. Probably gonna have to meld the remaining gear that I have. The other the 430s. I think I quit right before I did this as a Dark Knight, maybe. No, I think I did this as a Dark Knight. I can't remember. It's been like 2 weeks. What's the tank rune? Or is it tank rune? What's the tank cluster? Phantom rune? I have not had a good time remembering any tank cluster name. I guess it's not. It's divination rune, that's what it is. Yes. I think one of these does not need to be tanked. You actually got very lucky with the placement on that. I didn't have to move much at all. Yeah, nothing really breaks Blackest, like, at all. I think Mustard Seed doesn't really do anything, does he? I don't think he does. Because I'm not really... I don't feel like I'm getting hit by two enemies here. Oh, shit, that's not inner release. This is inner release, basically. I legit felt like I was playing Warrior. And I do feel like I'm playing Warrior sometimes with this class. Which is which? It's the same positions. War and Peas. I've never gotten hit by that before. It's also really nice they just flat out don't hit you. I mean, maybe I should be grateful for that on normal mode. I tried to hit Upheaval. That was definitely Warrior Instinct. I think it might have faded. I'm having no luck with Blackest Night. Like, even less so than usual. I'm gonna get no experience from doing this. That's gonna be the worst part about this. What's Frost Rune? Oh, the Shiva. It's literally the Shiva mechanic. And I got the perfect positioning for it, too. You get this off of Unleash? Yes, you do, because it's a spell. It's actually pretty sweet. You can basically get it off anything. Zero. If I had known it was 2, I would have actually done something about that. baby. You don't get any experience. Oh, sweet. Well, that was exciting. I could have actually run the dungeon in that time and probably would have leveled. Oh, Christ. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it does. It gives 0. Right. I really didn't get any. Yeah, you don't. It legit runs 0. I don't really want to do Don Meg again. I really don't like that dungeon. At least not for tanks. I really don't like doing it. I really don't remember Trials not giving anything. I guess they just flat out don't. They set it to 0, basically. And they leave it there until the next expansion, in which case then they bump it up. Because that wasn't even like 1 million. Let me return. Unless I can. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let me make Mordona my free location. Because Mordona is pretty much like the one place I go to in Eorzea. So I could actually probably save some money if I make it my free location. Oh, no, you need a security token? Oh, okay. Never mind. I actually thought you could legit just do it whenever. No wonder I never did it before. Guess whatever. That's like only what? 700 to go to Mordona whenever? That's nothing. Gold saucer. And from Yulmore, I could probably kill 2 nuts, no problem. Where are the 3 nuts? Scree and Kalusia. I probably could kill them. I'm like reasonably confident. It's the overworld. Nothing is really that bad as long as you don't miss every single attack you do. Ivan, I'm trying to get to 75. And what's up, Snowman King? I appreciate it. Yeah, I know Trump has been on WWE. That's why back in the day, before he became the president, he was a WWE reference, which is pretty fucking sweet. Why is my controller dying? Please don't do that. That's pretty bad. Do levels in the overworld even matter? Something 4 levels higher than me still could not break my Blackest Night. Yeah, they don't matter. Forget this. I'm just gonna go wherever I want. As long as I don't get like 4 or 5 enemies hitting me, maybe even 3, I'll be fine. I guess that's Yulmore off in the distance. This was actually way better for me to do. No, I was doing rank 3. You know, I might as well set it to my hotbar so I don't have to keep going in there. Broad slope. Swamps. Lakeland. It's literally everywhere. Let's do the sea gelatin. No, that's not it. I actually found out you can fly out of Amarat into some of the earlier areas. Orphan from Final Fantasy 13 has 14 million experience. I actually, my experience with Final Fantasy 13 is I beat it. I beat all the games. I didn't make a playthrough of it, but I beat it. I actually had no problem with that game after the Barthandelus fight. And the only reason I had difficulty with the Barthandelus fight is because it's a DPS check that they don't really tell you is a DPS check. He just sort of sits there charging up one huge ability. And I thought, okay, well, this is my time to hunker down. Like, it's a big attack I'm supposed to survive. You're actually supposed to keep attacking him, which causes him to lose his focus. And then you can beat him, and it's easy. I didn't know that. When I first played that game, I thought that you were just supposed to use Sentinels, and I was stuck on that fight for like a day or two, and I'm like, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do here, because it's not really explanatory at all. And then, once I did that, I basically coasted to the end of the game. I actually kind of like 13, probably for some very awkward reasons. It's definitely not a mainline Final Fantasy game. They probably shouldn't have even pretended like it was. I didn't even dodge out of that. And I think that's probably the Soul Eater missed. Look at that. Pro-Floritarian. Is that the part where you're at with Saz and Vanille? I think they have to fight a big thing in like the cocoon like growery or whatever it was. Rocktika. I forget that game honestly, and someday I should really. I was meaning to buy it again on PS3 because it's one disc on PS3 instead of the 3 that it is on 360. And I actually kind of wanted to buy it again so I could maybe play through it. Like, as weird as it is, this wasn't a playthrough I plan to do anytime in the future, like in the near future, because I kind of really hate it. It's not a very fun game sometimes. They artificially cap you so you can't get too powerful to beat bosses. So a lot of times bosses will kick your ass because of a certain, like, few criteria will go in their favor. And then you'll just kick the boss's ass. And then it's just like, well it wasn't really difficult. Operation Nora, Lightning and Hope? I don't remember. It could be at the end of the game. I didn't really do a lot of the open world bullshit at the end of the game because I thought that was also kind of bad. Like, the battle system isn't bad in that game. I think the biggest issue I have with that game is the story and just in general the fact that it's like linear as fuck. Like, you don't ever feel like you're exploring a dungeon or raiding a castle or doing whatever you do in almost any other game. By the way, those Bulbasaurs are in this game. This game has a lot of reused enemies from a lot of different Final Fantasies, but it's really noticeable with the 13 games because they share almost the same engine and look. I don't think this is, obviously, this isn't running on the same engine, but it looks very similar as opposed to some of the other enemies. Yeah, it's been literally... I beat that game in 2011, I think, because I knew that the sequel was coming out or something. So it's been, like, literally 8 years since I played Final Fantasy 13, and I've never gone back. And to be honest, I don't feel like I missed anything by not going back. Not to sound overly negative about the game. It has good ideas. I think part of it, they were rushing it during development. I feel like they just had an idea for a great mythology and a great world, and they didn't actually really do much with the game around it. And that's my biggest problem with it. It's not even the fact that, like, the story, they don't really explain much. It's more that just the story is kind of very weird. It's a very, like, quirky style game, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Final Fantasy IV, I was stuck on the 4 Fiends boss battles for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's the fight where you don't have Kain, if I remember correctly. And since you don't have Kain to disrupt her, you have to intentionally trigger the AoE, which is not fun. Central Hills of Amber. Where are the Central Hills of Amber? Guess we're gonna find out. Now I remember that fight. That's where you have Fusoya, Edge, Rydia, Cecil. Is that 5 people? Rydia, Cecil, and I guess Rosa? I think it is. That is a fight that people cite as being very difficult. I lucked out. I didn't have any problems with that fight, but of all the times I played, I never really had that much difficulty with it. But that is a fight that people cite as being reasonably difficult, because you basically don't have the one thing that they established was really good against killing her, and you have to fight 3 bosses before you get to her, I think, since she's the last. Maybe. I'm like 80% certain, if I remember Final Fantasy IV, which is another game I haven't played in over a decade, really. I was actually supposed to do a playthrough on that game back in 2015, but that was supposed to happen after the Metroid playthroughs, and a whole bunch of stuff went to shit, and so blah blah blah. A lot of stuff happened. I had it downloaded and everything too. I still own it on Steam. The DS version. I feel like my skill speed is a little high. I remember, like, the ending being really easy for me. I had, like, no trouble with the ending. After all the amount of grinding I had to do in Chapter 11, I remember the ending being very cut and dry and simple. Which was really kind of a letdown, because it was kind of like... I mean, it was a cool ending. I had, like, this weird setup going. And the sad part is I still kind of prefer the gameplay of 13 to 15. On some regards. I think 15's problem is that it's way too simple a game. It's way too easy. There's always a way to get out of fucking up. And, I mean, like, that doesn't necessarily make the game bad. It just kind of makes the game, you know... How do I say it? It makes the game very, like... overly forgiving, because it's like, well, then what's the point of ever healing wound damage if you can always use a potion to get back to 20%? It's like, well, then why even bother? If you know you're going to get knocked down a whole bunch, just chug potions. Potions aren't limited, you could buy them. That's why the end of that playthrough for me was killing the Adamantoise, and then I literally deleted the game, and I never reinstalled it. And that was it. That is a true story to this day. I never reinstalled, never played 15 again. I got the platinum, never touched it again. Didn't miss anything. I don't miss it. Sometimes, like, because if I really missed it, I'd play Kingdom Hearts. That's the honest answer. I'd go play Kingdom Hearts. Because it basically, Kingdom Hearts 3, in my opinion, was light years better than Final Fantasy 15. Light years. I thought 15 was, like, the textbook definition... As I squeeze this over real quick. 15 is like the textbook definition of a game made to appeal to casuals. And so because of that, I wasn't exactly a super huge fan of it. I thought it was like a very boring, watered-down game made to appeal to first-timers, which is fine if a game is meant to be easy for people who might not be huge fans of the series to get them into it, but I wasn't a fan of it. I thought that there was too much simplicity, it was very watered down. I personally preferred everything I heard and read about Versus 13. Because that's actually the reason I got a PS3 was Versus 13 and, like, I think a couple Tales games. Xillia didn't disappoint me too much. I thought Xillia was good. I thought Xillia 2 was also good. I kind of hate when sequels do the whole time travel thing, but I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't awful. It was fun. It was a cool sequel because you got to see how the world changed a lot. I actually need to play. I have a lot of Tales games to play. Like I said, I was gonna record last night, and then the power went out. It was a legit thing in Manhattan. It was pretty ridiculous. Not all of Manhattan, but parts of Manhattan. It was pretty bad. Well, I mean, nothing terrible happened, but it was really out of nowhere. There's always that moment in a blackout where it's like, did the power really just go out? Fun time. I was supposed to make so much progress yesterday in Ocarina before Toonami, and neither of those things happened for me. Okay, thank the Lord. Back to the Crystarium. I saw there were extra quests in Banalon. I don't know, maybe it's like the conclusion of the journey's head, or the journey's end people meet up with the miners or whatever. Whatever. Oh no, we already had that. We had that one miner meet up with the other two people. I don't know what they're for then, and I don't particularly care too much. Oh, you can buy these with nuts. Okay, well that's not happening. I hate having to hunt. Oh no, it tells you now. That's right. I was about to say, I hate having to hunt those things down, but it legit tells you where your mark is. Right? Let's see. Because it's almost time. Which means I kind of got to get some water and do some other stuff before I start. Does it tell you? I think it's supposed to. It's supposed to warn you when a big one spawns. Right? Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I thought that was supposed to be the new addition for hunts, is that it tells you when and where your mark was. You know, this music kind of reminds me a bit of a... What the hell? Oh, I'm that's right, I'm a low level. I'm like, why did that miss? I was about to have a heart attack. I'm like, what the hell? Do I even have the Dark Knight sword? I mean, that it's minor experience. We're really as good as the sack of nuts, I guess. Kalusia, Wolverines, Werewood. Didn't I just look at one of these two? Wait. I read something completely different, despite reading it correctly. That. Uh-oh. Okay, I gotta respond to that. This is a great camera. That was literally the unluckiest place for the camera to teleport to. Yeah, we don't get the epic Kalusia music anymore. Ironbeard? Where are the Ironbeards? Oh, they're over here. Okay. Woo! That crit still kind of gets me every time I hit over 10k on a normal GCD. You know what I mean? It really sneaks up on you how ridiculous that kind of is. Okay. Alright. That's probably about all the free time I'm gonna get. Let's do this. Oh shit! I'm free for the evening! We're not running anything! Yes! Oh! Woo! 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 Let's see, did I miss anything? Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah! Well, in this stream, unfortunately, is kind of pointless because I could be recording, what's it called? Not Final Fantasy. What's the other thing called? Zelda. Maybe I'll just do that instead. Biggest fucking ups, dude. I love it. I'm free for like a few days. Anyway, since I already did my roulettes anyway, might as well just return. Go back home. See, it still has that part of the theme. Alright, well, and I'm done for now then. That was fun. It was very exciting. I actually did not expect that plot twist. I saw the Discord bump, and I got free, so pretty sweet, dude. I'm happy. Everyone's happy. Everybody wins in the end, and then later we get to do this bullshit. But yeah, I'm not doing it today. I'm relaxing. I'm behind on shit, so... Pretty cool. Somehow Stream Deck became 100. I don't know why or how, but sure, we can pretend like that's what I wanted. We can pretend like even this is decent. What the hell? Thank you. Stream Deck, please.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Here we go again. Same old shit, dog. Just a different day. Here we go again.
I'm sorry. Well, I gotta come back. Snowman King came back. Since he's nice enough to drop by these streams. Meteor has a casting time of 10, taking several turns to charge. It costs 99 MP. In the 2D versions, the damage is Holy Element. Yeah, why would Meteor be Holy Element? That's really weird. Oh yeah, Fusaya can use Meteor. I was thinking, like, why would you be trying to use Tella? Tella should be gone by that point. But yeah, that's because you do have Fusoya, and Fusoya can use it, because his MP isn't capped. I know they cap Tella's MP at 90. So that way you can't use Meteor even when he learns it. Meteor is like the Spirit Bomb. I use it 4 times on her and finish her with Bio. Yeah, you kind of just gotta beat her down. I remember one fight that a lot of people thought was really difficult was Golbez's second fight. But I actually thought that fight was really easy. You just have to use items. And once you use items, I think you can slow Golbez, and then the fight becomes trivial. You just revive everybody, heal up, and then you literally delete him. Because there's not much he really is set to do besides occasionally spread level 2 spells. That's like his only thing that he can really do. Is spread that. But I appreciate you dropping by, Snowman King. If you got anything else, I'm not in a hurry to clock out. I'm actually just gonna go set up and record. But if you got, what I will try to do, I guess, while I wait, is I'm gonna try to stream. I don't know what nights. I would say Saturday night, but Saturday night I watch Toonami. So Saturday night is kind of like my personal night. So that'll be pretty fine for me, I guess. I get to do whatever. And then I guess Friday, if I could find a way to get a different channel for Toonami, then I'd probably stream during it. And I think I could figure it out. It doesn't seem too difficult if my second computer wasn't literally an ancient relic. But yeah. She has 8,000 HP and is weak to non-elemental attacks. Really? You can be weak to non-elemental attacks? That's interesting. I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy IV in ages. Someday I'll do a playthrough on it. It's been a long time. Toonami was great back in the day before it became CNX. What's CNX? Cartoon Network X? Toonami is still on. Like, it's still good. It's more mature because it's on Adult Swim. It's basically Adult Swim once a week turns into Toonami, which is pretty much what Toonami was back in the mid to late 2000s. Early 2000s, I think Toonami was on every night. I can't really remember that because I was a kid, like a really young kid. But I remember watching it from time to time. I remember watching Dragon Ball and some other stuff. Actually, what I didn't do that I need to do is I actually downloaded some Toonami sound bites. If I can open this up. Open up this zip, and I'm going to extract it real quick. Thank you, WinRAR, for letting me use this for free. I appreciate it. We literally take you for granted. Go to Sound Clips. Let's make a new folder. Toonami. I wonder if these are loud enough. Took all of 30 seconds. I actually have to rehook up all my externals anyway, so I guess I do have stuff to do. That blackout really kind of messed with my whole schedule, which is truly a tragedy, but whatever. Nothing awful happened, so... I was watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon from 98 to 2000, so that's basically what I did. I was watching Cartoon Network since the I remember watching that when I was a kid, like basically 3 years old to 4 years old. I watched Cartoon Network until, like, I want to say 8th grade, because I think in 2008 they changed it. They got rid of Toonami and they started having like random movie night. And I remember, like, well, I don't like any of your shows on now, which is a matter of preference. And I just said, I'm done. And I left, and I didn't go back to Cartoon Network. And to this day, I almost do not watch Cartoon Network. The only thing I watch on it is Toonami. If Toonami and Adult Swim were on its own channel, I would never watch Cartoon Network again. Nickelodeon I watched from, like, 2002, or maybe 2002, 2003, until that exact same time, because around that time I stopped watching because I didn't like any of the shows that were on. You know, even SpongeBob I stopped watching after the movie. I remember, like, I liked SpongeBob a lot when I was a kid. I liked the game. I liked Battle for Bikini Bottom. That's the one everyone remembers and loves. I watched SpongeBob a lot. I probably might still have some of the DVDs if they didn't get thrown out because of reasons. And, what was it? They didn't get thrown out. And then I remember after the movie, SpongeBob, like, changed. You could tell it was a very different show. And I just never watched it again. And that's my experience with SpongeBob. I never went back to SpongeBob after that. I had zero reason to ever go back. It was not as funny anymore. It felt like they had reached a natural conclusion, and I just stopped watching it. And I mean, I'm gonna buy Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I already have, because, like, it's like a part of my childhood, and it's a good game. Like, it's a good game. It's a good SpongeBob game, and it has so much cool stuff to it, which is why it's such a flash in the pan And literally almost, when did that game come out? 2002? Almost like 18 years later, 17 years later, we still remember that game. 16 years, actually. I know I keep rolling it back. It's like over a decade and a half later, we still remember Battle for Bikini Bottom for being fucking lit. Pretty much. Hold on. This is, that's interesting. But besides that, that's about all I have. I gotta go do some other stuff. But yeah, that's my history with Toonami, and that's my history with, Nickelodeon. My Nickelodeon history is kind of lamer, to be honest. I watched a couple of it. Most of it I watched when I was on vacation, because a lot of times they would have alternating years. They would have either Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. It was never both, and it was never the same one each year. I think some years they might have had Nickelodeon more, though. But they had Cartoon Network a few times. So, yeah. I appreciate... I gotta go deal with a few things. It's here or there. But, Snowman King, if you're still watching, I appreciate it, man. You're always, I appreciate your attendance on my stream, as always. And, yeah, it's been pretty cool, pretty fun. I'll talk with you later. I got nothing more to add, and I have to deal with quite a few things. So, I'll talk with you next stream, which I'm going to stream more. So, this is not like I needed a break after the Shadowbringers playthrough is really what it was. Because I was on the Shadowbringers ride for a long time. And I needed to take a break because I was spending a lot of time. And I'm still playing the game, but I needed to take a break from streaming. And, yeah, it kind of worked out. So, big ups.
I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my life to forgetting it.